Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video talking about online college, my experience, and some tips that I have if you are considering going on with online college. I'm currently editing the video and I just want to preface this by saying this is for community college, so you might have a different experience if it's a university, but this is for community college in specific. So it's kind of self-explanatory, but online college, you will be taking college classes at home, and you will not be going on campus, will not be living in a dorm. You will be at home doing your classes online. So I've been doing online classes since halfway through my sophomore year of high school when the pandemic happened and everyone had to isolate at home. Since then, I have not gone back to in-person classes. I took one class in person and then I ended up dropping it halfway through because the teacher just wasn't great and it was not for me. I love online college. It's definitely the right fit for me, but online classes might not be the best for you depending on your learning style. So the things I'd say are you do have to have a lot of self-discipline and be able to stick to your own schedule without someone strictly holding you to it. For me, I'm not the best at that. I will save my work until the last minute and then rush and try and do it all at once, which I definitely don't recommend doing. Online college, you have to make sure that you will be able to hold yourself accountable and hold yourself to do the work by the time it's due. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is how it works and what you can expect. So I know different colleges might use different programs, but for me personally, my college used Canvas. And essentially, depending on the teacher, it might vary, but roughly what happens is at the beginning of each week or each block that your teacher has the assignments set to, usually at the beginning of the week, your teacher will release a bunch of assignments to you and they will all be due at the end of the week. Some teachers will release everything to you or a huge chunk of things. So sometimes you might be able to work on 2 weeks worth of work. Sometimes you might only be able to work on 1 week of work. And I know some teachers might do it day by day, but from my experience, it tends to be mostly week by week. So around, I think, 12 a.m. Sunday night usually, the assignments will be unlocked and you will be able to start working on them. And these assignments sometimes are due the next Sunday, sometimes they are due during the week. It just depends on the teacher. But essentially, you will be given assignments and due dates, and you'll have to work on those assignments and complete them by the due date. So typically, from my experience, I haven't had to actually hop on Zoom calls. There will be some teachers who will want you to just for like the beginning of the semester so they can talk over the syllabus, and then after that you won't have to go on any calls. There is some online colleges where you have to join calls at specific times, once or twice a week for these lectures. I typically pick classes where I didn't have to go on any calls, so it was all on my own. I usually either had to do my own reading or my own watching of the lectures. I will get more into that later. So basically, you have to have good time management to be able to complete all the assignments you were given by the date they are due. Again, me personally, I would wait till the last minute, which I don't recommend doing. I recommend getting it done as soon as you can. So now going more into lectures and how the information is actually given to you, this can also vary per teacher and per professor. So I have had some professors where they will not provide lectures and they will give us the textbook, and we either have to get it online or we can go buy it somewhere, and we have to read the textbook and do lots of reading to get the information. And then I've also had professors where they will actually give you a recorded lecture every week, so they will talk about the material, they will talk over it, they will explain it, and then you watch that, take notes, and that's how you get your knowledge. I will admit, sometimes I think I did skip through some of the lectures or put it on 2 times speed, which again, I don't recommend. I recommend watching the whole lecture so you can get all the knowledge and reading the whole chapter so you can get all the knowledge. But yeah, some teachers will have you read the material, some will give you lectures, some will do both. It just depends on the professor and the course. It can vary. Now I'm going to talk about how exams work and if they are proctored, not proctored, what that means. Proctored exams are where they are monitoring you and ensuring that you're not cheating, whether that be recording your audio and your screen in your face or actually having a proctor sit in. I haven't personally had to do any classes yet where there's actually someone sitting there on the other side of the screen, and I could be wrong. That might not actually be a thing. Typically for me, either professors will not have the exam be monitored and they will just tell you take this quiz, take this exam whenever, as long as it's done by this date. So they won't actually have anything recording you, recording your screen, recording your audio. But I've had other professors where they have us download a web extension where it records your face, it records your audio, it records your screen, and it monitors basically to ensure that you're not cheating. So those are the two types of exams I've had to experience, but I don't know if there's any more. I think sometimes professors will want you to actually go in to the school and take it, but I think those are rare circumstances. So typically it's either going to be you just taking a quiz as if it were another assignment except timed, or you will be taking a quiz test while being recorded and monitored. So next I'm going to talk about reasons why I think this works for me, and if it sounds similar to you, then I think you would enjoy taking your college at home. So for one, I am pretty anxious of a person. I don't like being in classroom settings. I feel like they just stress me out. For me personally, it I think revolves a lot around public speaking and things involving that. So for example, in English class when I used to be in high school and we would have to read out loud, picking popsicle sticks or going in order or going down the row, I would be counting the pages when I would have to read next, and I would not be able to focus on the material. I was just reading my paragraph over and over and over, or just trying to make sure I knew where I was going to be called. And I feel like it wasn't beneficial to me because I wasn't learning the knowledge. I was just panicking the whole time about my part when I was going to have to talk. Additionally, presentations are just stressful to me. I never did well. I would always just forget to breathe and do horribly on them, and they would just tank my grades sometimes. So public speaking was a big fear of mine, and just I think being in a classroom setting makes me stressful because constantly thinking, what if I get called on, what if this, what if that, and it's just more comforting for me to be at home because in class when I was stressed all the time, I wasn't actually grasping much of the knowledge. I feel like I would just kind of forget, I was better in high school, but after switching online in high school, I felt if I went in person for college and tried to get back into the in-person classroom setting, it would not be beneficial to me and I would be stressed the whole time. Basically would be paying to sit in a classroom and panic. So I just felt that I would not benefit from going in person. Additionally, for me, if someone were to tell me, okay, it's 10 a.m., you have to work on math from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'd be like, but my brain does not want to work on math right now, so I physically cannot do great at this, If that makes sense. It's like if you tell someone, write an essay right now. It's hard to get into that creative mindset when you're told. You kind of have to be in the right mindset on your own terms. So for me, being online, I get to work on subjects when I want, where I want, at any time of day. I'm a night person, and I am so productive at like midnight to 2 a.m. I will be very productive. I remember I used to write full essays at 1 a.m. Just full essays and would just be able to keep typing. So I feel like if you're like that where you can't exactly focus unless it's on your own terms, or you can't be productive in a classroom setting, or things like that, then I think you would benefit from online classes as long as you do have that discipline. For me personally, I do need to work on the discipline and getting better at doing assignments before the day they are due, but if you're confident that you can do that and hold yourself to a schedule, then I think this is great for you. So currently, I'm going to talk about my upcoming plans. I am transferring to ASU online to Arizona State University through an online program because, again, I don't think going in person to any college would benefit me. So I got my associate's degree over summer, and I am currently going to be going to ASU if all goes accordingly in March, but online. So my plans for this are to not save assignments till the last minute. I'm going to try and work on them throughout the week, which I did before, but I'm going to really hold myself to it. And rather than on Monday being like, oh, I have 5 assignments, but they're due Sunday, I'm going to do them Sunday, and then Tuesday comes around and I do the same thing. I am going to try and work on them and get them done whenever I have free time and whenever I can. So I'm going to probably be going for a bachelor's in business communications. I was originally going to go for marketing, but that was a really hard program to get into, and I feel like business communications opens more doors for me, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to be vlogging my experience of the first week if I do have assignments that week, and going to try and record my experience and what it's like for me. One more thing that I forgot to mention is for college, of course, you will have to do general ed. So for me, I'm a business major, but I still had to do like math and science and all that kind of stuff. My tip is I'd probably say get that out of the way. Don't save it for last. This also can vary per person, I feel. So if you're the type of person who would want to get it out of the way, get like, for example, like me, if you're a business major and you don't like science, to get it out of the way whenever you can so that you can focus on what your major is. I know some people might want to focus on their major and then do the rest, but for me, I feel like I lost motivation as the years went on and as my college went on. So having more business to look forward to at the end rather than science for me was better, because I feel for someone like me, if you finish all your fun classes first, so all your business that you really do care about, if you finish all that first and then college is just math and science and stuff like that, for me, it would be boring. You know, I wouldn't have the motivation to work on stuff. I also don't think you should completely do just all general ed at the start. So like if I were to do math and science and history, all of that in one semester, I think I would have been burnt out. So definitely if you're going to do something like that, incorporate some of your major courses in there. So like you could take a science class, a business class, a math class, and then like another business. It depends on how many you're taking. But if that makes sense, kind of do a mismatch of both courses that are in your major and courses that are general ed, just so that way you can kind of get it all done. But in my personal experience, I'm currently taking a gap like semester and a half, I don't know, because I'm starting mid-semester. I took a break because for me, after the 2 years of college, I had taken college classes over summer too. So I basically have had no break since I graduated high school. The summer of graduating high school, I have had no break. What happened was I wasn't really learning information. I was kind of like going through the motions, listening to the lecture, doing the assignment, listening to the lecture, doing the assignment, doing a test. I wasn't grasping any of that knowledge. I was just kind of going through the motions. And I felt that I needed a break because if I had tried to jump right into my bachelor's, I think I would have been burnt out and just not ready to learn. If you're the type of person who can jump back into things easily, I think that would be a great option. If you don't think you're the type of person who could jump back in after a gap year, because I know some people say it's hard, then you might not want to take that gap year. Or if you do, you can watch lectures online of your subject or of your major and take notes just to stay in that aspect of learning. I tried that for a while, didn't stick to it, but what I tried is I got masterclass and I watched some videos on there of lectures of entrepreneurship and business, and I took notes just to feel like I was still in the motion of classes, just so you don't forget how to do stuff and how to learn, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. If you have any other questions, you can let me know in the comments and I can make another video. I think that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to know anything else about online classes, and I will help answer the best I can. But thank you so much for watching. Bye!